welcome back to my channel, to the Witchy Reader. So I'm going to do another writing vlog. I don't think I've done one in a hot minute, and I'm in the mood to do another writing vlog. I want to do more vlogs this month because I know people seem to really like vlogs, and I do enjoy making them. So I'm gonna try. No promises. I'm gonna try to do one writing and one reading vlog every month. I'm gonna do separates because I don't know, readers may not want to see the writing part, and writers may not want to see the reading part. So just one, so two vlogs, one writing, one reading every month this year. No promises if I'm actually gonna, hold up to that. But I always want to forget to update when I have updates to give because I'm not used to making vlogs. I mean, yeah, I've made writing vlogs, so those I'm getting better at updating because I am kind of used to them now. But the reading vlogs, I've only started making reading vlogs in October, and I did 4 in October for the Multi Readathon, and the readathon helped me remember. But now that I'm doing one that doesn't have anything to do with the readathon, that's just me wanting to read, I keep wanting to forget to update. But I'm working on that. So I'm mostly working on The Witch of Light and my Destin Press prequel, and a little bit on the book I'm working with my best friend Alyssa, The Witch's Assassin. I didn't need to finish my chapter 1 of that. I mean, I already did my prologue, cause like, I have a prologue and she has a prologue. I have my chapter 1, she has chapter 2, cause it's in first point of view, but it changes point of view between my character that I created and her character that she created. This is my first time doing a co-author story, but she's my best friend, so we're making it work. Good thing we both love fantasy. But I do want to finish writing my Witch of Light and Jasmine Press prequel within the next few months, and then I just have to worry about editing, and then I can publish them, and then my first two series will be complete because I already have the 3 Jasmine Press books for the trilogy up, and all I have left of that is the prequel, and then I already have the first book of my Witch of Light series, which is actually called the Christmas Light series. The first book of that, The Christmas Light, is published, and this one's just a duology, so I'm going to be publishing The Witch of Light soon, and that will be complete. And then I can worry about whatever series I have left, because I do have several WPs open that started, and I'm just waiting, because I'm focusing my energy on these two for the most part right now. I don't know how long the other ones will be yet, except for one I know will be at least 10 books. That one I do have a lot of ideas for. But yeah, I have a lot of ideas for it, and I'm excited for it. And I do want to start working on it more. I kind of took a break from it because I wanted to work on books that have less, are going to be less. But my other series, I have no idea how long they're going to be yet. So yeah. So I didn't work on, I started a fanfiction for Six Crows because I'm a little bit upset right now. Because I finished Cruise Kingdom, and then I watched Shadow and Bone Show, and now I'm obsessed with Shadow and Bone, especially Six Crows parts, because they're my favorite part of the Keeperverse. So while watching the show, I may or may not have started a tiny fanfiction on Wattpad. I haven't actually posted it yet, but I started it, and yeah. But I did work on The Witch of Light yesterday. I did all of chapter 17 yesterday. I love how the last couple of chapters ended up. I love them a lot. The chapter 15, I forgot what I called it, but Skylar, and that chapter leaves up a cliffhanger. But the next chapter is chapter 17, which is chapter 16, which is Skylar versus Sydney, where you get a battle between the two of them. It's not much of an actual battle like the end of battle will, because it's mostly because this chapter is supposed to show you Skylar's true intelligence. I've mentioned her intelligence in the past and showed it a little bit, but this chapter you're supposed to get the full force of her intelligence, because you find out that she's actually a genius and her mind works different than most people. It's a lot faster, and she always formulates these plans and always knows like the probability, like the exact probability, and it's hard to explain, but I know what I'm talking about here. But so you can see the full because the chapter is her outwitting Sydney because this chapter was important to see Skylar's true intelligence and find out the fact that she's a genius and how she's kind of tried to hide her intelligence as best she could, even though she's not great at it because she just wants to be normal. But then when she found out that she has these powers and that she is the chosen one, she gets kind of upset or well, upset, yeah, but she feels like now she's really can't be normal because she has powers. And it's not even that she wants to be normal per se, it's that her entire life she's been different and it's gotten her bullied basically. So she doesn't want to be different because she's tired of that. Um, so yeah, she has, but Althea had to talk to her and tell her how important her mind is and the fact that her mind will save them. Well, she says that her power is going to save them because they need her power to defeat the curse. So she said her mind is going to help her power succeed in the end. Um, and she's starting to realize that her mind isn't a burden but a part of who she is, which she's going to need in the future. Um, But yeah, and she rescued Althea, and then chapter 17 is mostly of them, of the group gathered, and Skylar trying to form this tiny group of misfits into this group of heroes who's supposed to save the day. Um, yeah, so there's a sweet scene between Skylar and Will. Um, so yay, and a little bit of Althea. I almost said Sydney. Wrong. No, they're twins. I was sweet scene between Althea and her girlfriend. Crap, what's her name? My mind went blank. I love this character too. Andrea. I love Andrea. There's this one chapter where she's I don't want to spoil anything, but she totally puts these two boys, Will and Logan, in their place, and she has the guys shaking in their boots because that's who she is. She's a high feminist, and she totally called them out. And yeah, you find out that that everyone is scared of her. Like you do not cross Andrea. Um, I love writing Andrea's character. And that chapter on chapter 8, I loved writing that chapter so much, especially the part where she was putting them in their places and be like, hey, stop with this toxic I can't speak, masculinity. And she told them to woman up instead of man up. And I love it. I love that chapter. I love that character. But I do want to show Andrea and Skylar's friendship a little bit more in this book. Um, they were actually childhood best friends until, and then when they were 13, they started dating, and they dated for 5 years, 5-ish years. Um, and after they graduated from high school, their paths kind of took them separate ways, and they ended up breaking up, and it was too hard for them to be near each other because they were madly in love, and they were as close as two people can be. Um, so they kind of split up. Not just their relationship but their friendship. But with everything going on, they're starting to get closer again. I'm not gonna have them end up together because I like Andrea and Althea, which I do want to show more of them in this book because we don't get to see them that much in the previous book. You see them a little bit when Althea mentions that they're dating to Skylar, and then a little bit you see a little thing with them before Andrea gets her hair dyed, and then you see them again a little bit more after she got her hair dyed and they went on a date. But then after that's when her and Sydney got into the fight and she was kidnapped. Um, and then I don't say Sydney again. Andrea goes to her house and sees the mess and ends up, freaking out because her girlfriend was kidnapped. So we don't get to see them that much. And Althea was kidnapped for the rest of that book, and she just now got rescued in this book. And I'm on chapter 17, and she got rescued at the end of chapter I'm on chapter 18, but that's the next one. So yeah, I'm ranting a little bit, aren't I? Oh well. But so I want to show more of them, and I want to show more of Logan and David too. They got a lot. They got quite a few scenes together in the first book, which I'm happy. But I want even more scenes with them in this book. They are engaged. Um, Skylar is going to be ending up with Will. I already know that. I planned that from the very beginning, from when I first planned the book and created the characters. I always knew the two of them would end up together, and they're still going to. They're not together yet because Will took a while to realize he had feelings for Skylar, and um, yeah, he realized this at near the end of last book, but she was in a coma for a couple weeks, and now that she's out, things are just a bit intense right now. Not the best time to confess your love, and he's not so scared, but that's not the point. So, anyways, yeah, as you can tell, I'm really enjoying writing this book. The Justin Press prequel is going well too. It's not gonna be as long as the actual trilogy. It's for those of you that do not know about my prequel, it's about the villain and her sister and their brother, but you don't even find out they had a brother until the third book when it's briefly mentioned. And then you get to see more of that. This one, and you get to find out some things that will shock you if you've read my trilogy. There's going to be at least one thing that you're not going to realize. You don't realize it until you read it in my prequel. I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't. But yeah. But that's all for this update. I will come back at you with another update when I work more on one of my books and talk about a little bit about it, how it went, how much I got done, and yeah. So I shall talk to you guys soon. Hey, I'm back with another update. I pulled an all-nighter last night. I worked on my Justin Press prequel. Finally got some done. I finished chapter 12, did all of chapter 13, and started chapter 14. More than a little bit start. I think I did a few scenes in chapter 14, so it might be halfway done, maybe even mostly done. We'll see. I don't know how long I'm gonna make the chapter yet. It just depends on how long I want to make the chapter. It's really that simple. But yeah, so I haven't worked on it much the last few months because I have been kind of stuck on that book. But inspiration struck last night, and then I didn't want to stop because it was the first time my inspiration stuck in that book in a few months. So I wanted to finish it. And after I do a couple videos I need to do for my channel, I'm going to I might work a little bit more on it because I still have some leftover inspiration, and I don't want to waste that inspiration for this book because I don't know when I'll get inspiration for this book again. I do want to finish this book and The Witch of Light with at least the writing portion of it in the next few months, and then all I have to do is worry about editing it, and then once it's edited I can publish them both, and then my first two series will be completely finished. My Justin Press trilogy is already available on Amazon. I just need to finish the prequel, and then The Witch of Light, or The Curse of Light, which is the first book in the series, is already published as well. The Witch of Light is the sequel to that, and that's just duology. And as of right now, there's no additional books in the series that I'm planning, but you never know. I might in a few years come up with more ideas for that universe and create a spin-off series or a spin-off book or a prequel series or a prequel book or something. You just don't know. I don't know either, so we shall see. But as of right now, it is going to be complete. So that's all for this update. I'll come back at you later when I let you know how my writing of the prequel has continued, and I'll talk to you guys later. Back with another update, just really quick about an update, because I just did 2 videos. They turned out to be a lot longer than I wanted, and now I'm tired of talking. But I want to do this writing update before I forget. Last couple of days, I forgot to update you about how my writing is going, and it's going really well.
So for the last several months, I haven't really been that inspired for my prequel, and I haven't worked on it much except for a little bit here and there. I've mostly been working on The Witch of Light, which I do want to get back to working on in the next few days, but the last couple of days have been really, really inspired with the my Jasmine Press prequel, which is called, I don't know if I told you guys what it's called yet. I just call my Jasmine Press prequel, so people know what I'm talking about. But it's called Pierce of Heart, The Tale of Two Sisters, because Pierce of Heart, because like Pierce of the Heart, and Pierce is their last name, so it's a play of words. And Tale of Two Sisters, because in my third Jasmine Press book, Jasmine Press and the Enchantress, they find Ben is really, he loves legends and myths and stuff, so they were looking through the things in his cellar, and they found a legend called The Tale of Two Sisters, and they were pretty sure it was talking about I almost said Luciana. No, wrong. No, she's not introduced to the prequel. But Lilac and Rosemary. Lilac's the villain of Jasmine Press, and it's about her sister, because Rosemary's also in the Jasmine Press prequel. It's about Lilac, Rosemary, and their brother, which you don't even know they have until they find the legend, which briefly mentions him, and his name is Ilex. But yeah, I'm on the chapter that the entire book's been leading up to, which is kind of Lilac's downfall. I mean, she's been slowly going down a downward spiral, but this is the chapter where she goes over the edge, and it causes some deaths by accident. She didn't mean to, but it ends up causing her to start to really go down the path of evil. And yeah, so, and I've come up with some amazing ideas for the prequel. Like, there's a couple flashbacks that have to do with Lilac and Rosemary, which I'm going to incorporate in the book, but we'll flesh them out more so you can actually see them happening. Kind of like with Shadow and Bone TV show. In the book, we got to see flashbacks of Nina and Matthias' past, and in the Shadow and Bone TV show, it was showing what was happening with Nina and Matthias before the whole Hellgate mishap. But yeah. But so I found a perfect way to end the book, but then there's another scene I wanted to incorporate, and I don't think I can put it before that scene, but I don't want it to end with that scene, so I don't know yet. I'll figure it out by the time I get to the end. But I'm so excited for some of these ideas I have for my prequel, and I'm so glad I've finally been inspired with it. I hope to work on it a little bit more today, but today I want to mostly read, because I have been working on it a lot the last couple of days where I haven't really read much, but it took me forever to get inspired in this book, and I am, so I wanted to use that inspiration for good use and get my prequel somewhat done. So yay. I think I'm almost done with my prequel. I mean, I don't think it'll take too long to finish it at this point. So yeah. It might be around the length of my Jasmine Press book, maybe even my first one, maybe even a little bit more, but it definitely will be more than my second or third Jasmine Press books, because those are a bit more thick. So yeah, and I'm so happy because on KDP I have $36 on Amazon, and from selling my books, and that's the most I've ever made at once. I'm about to check it again to see if it went up. I doubt it, but I mean, you never know. I mean, my book went up from $30 to $36 in like a day. So, but I'm just so happy I've never made this much at once for my books, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have made $36 for my books at once, and I'm still just so ecstatic about it. I'm finally getting somewhere with my writing, and I'm finally getting my books out there, and people are finally buying them, which seems like people are buying them a lot lately, and I'm so happy. So yeah, that is all for this update. I'll update you again soon about how my prequel is going. I don't know when I'm gonna upload it. I know it's gonna be sometime this month, same with my reading vlog, but when, I do not know. So that's all for this update, and I'll talk to you guys again when I have another update to give. Hey, I'm back for another update on my writing vlog. So yesterday, I think it was, I finished chapter 16 of my prequel, and it left off a cliffhanger. I finished the chapter, and then I realized I had to add 2 more scenes. there's one scene I just wanted to add because I wanted there to be one more sweet scene between these two characters before their death. And but there's one other scene I had to add because near the end of the chapter, a servant runs in saying that there's a fire in the palace, telling Alex and Lilac, but I totally forgot to add the scene to let the readers know that Lilac started the fire, but she's unaware of the fact that she started it. All she knows is that there's a fire, and if I don't add that scene, then the readers don't realize that she started the fire, and I needed everyone to know that she started the fire, because that is crucial to how she became the villain in my Jasmine Price trilogy. Because this is the event, the day that changed everything, when she finally went down the path of evil. And so it's a small scene, but it's very, very important about her starting the fire. So I had to add that. And I did start chapter 17. I worked on it a tiny bit today. Didn't get that much done. I think I only wrote like a couple sentences because I didn't wake up until like 2, and then I was checking notifications. I had to eat. I talked to my mom for a little bit and sister. And now I'm about to do a video where I do a writing journal and a reading journal, and I'm gonna like decorate them and stuff.
And I'm not going in the video.
And so that's all for this update. I'll update you again when I get more done. When I finish chapter 17, I'm gonna be very sad during this chapter because I'm killing off 2 characters that I love. I've never killed off my favorite characters before, and they're my favorite characters in this book. But before I even started this book, I knew that they were gonna die. Like the entire book has been leading up to this moment, the death of these 2 characters, mostly the death of the one character because he's a main character, and I don't think I've ever killed off a main character either. But their deaths were crucial for why I started this prequel to how Lilac became the villain in the first place. And so I'm going to be very sad while writing this chapter. Maybe that's why I prolonged it after I started it yesterday, because I'm like, I'm not ready to kill all these characters, but I have to because they have to die. So
that's just cool.
Hey!
What?
They do have to die. Their deaths were the entire point of this book.
But
why does everyone like to...
Cool.
I know I'm cool.
That know what I meant.
Shut up. So that's all for this update.
You're not cool, you're a nerd.
Nerds are cool. Thank you very much. So that's all for this update. I'll talk to you guys again later.
Bye-bye.
Hello. I wanted to update for my writing vlog. I finished chapter 17 the other day. And it's going really well. Chapter 17. I finished it about an hour ago. It's 12:18 on the 12th now. I finished it 11 on the 11th. 11ish. I think it was closer to 11:30. But when I sat down to write it, I sat down around 11ish, and I didn't realize that I was almost done with the chapter until I was writing it. Because I know some people try to make their chapters a certain length and stuff. I don't. I just basically write until I feel like that's a good ending for the chapter. And sometimes I end up splitting the chapter in 2. If the chapter seems... I don't do it if the chapter... Well, yeah, I do it sometimes if the chapter seems too long. But I usually do it just because it seems like these 2 parts of the chapter should be split into 2. I think I did that once in this book. Yeah, but I'm on chapter 18 now. I haven't started chapter 18 yet, but I wrote 2044 words today. I'm planning on doing the whole writing wrap up at the end of the month or beginning of next month, and I will say what I wrote because I remember to catalog. I almost said calculate. That's not the right word. Catalog it in my writing journal. So I'm remembering to do that. Yay! I didn't read as right. I can't speak today. Well, it's 12:19 a.m. so my brain's no longer functioning. But I didn't write as much as I originally wanted to,
because I was up all night the previous night, so I originally was only going to sleep a few hours and then wake up, but I ended up sleeping through the alarm, and I ended up sleeping until like 6:30ish p.m. So I'm not tired, so I'm not planning on going to sleep anytime soon. Oh well. But because I slept all day, I did not end up writing as much as I wanted, and then I was reading for 2 hours. Well, I read a little bit with my mom. I think that only lasted like half hour, and I didn't even get that much done because my little brother kept interrupting me, and then he stole my arm, which he likes to do, and stopped me from reading. He said he didn't want me to read, which is weird because he's the one that actually likes when I read to him. But I don't know. But so I ended up going back to my apartment, and I read for a good 2 hours. Well, I read for an hour and a half, and then I stopped to eat, and then I read for another half hour, and then I wrote. I continued. After that hour and a half of reading, I finished that chapter. Then I ate. And as my food was cooking is when I read for another half hour. So I read for a good 2 hours yesterday. I do plan on reading more here in a moment. So yeah, but writing. I plan on getting some more writing done while I'm up as well, and I'll probably sleep in the afternoon. But yeah, so I will get more done on my prequel because the release dates for now that may change. It is February 28th because my plan is to finish writing it this month, and then I can focus on editing it all next month. But editing doesn't actually take me that long. Heck, neither does writing. I know one of my writer/reader friends from BookTube, the book Wormhole, Robin at the book Wormhole, she made a comment about how I finished The Curses of Light really fast, which is my most recent published book. I think I published that. What was it? I think it was like on Halloween or around Halloween, end of October, beginning of November, around then. I think that's when I published it. So yeah, because it didn't take me long at all to do that book. I got really into it, and well, technically some of it was already written, because I actually started that book before I even came up with my Jasmine Press idea. That was back in 2020. Actually, no, that would have been 2019 because I published Jasmine Press and the Wicked Sorceress, which is the first book in my Jasmine Press trilogy at the beginning of 2020. So that would have been in 2019 when I started that book. But then at chapter 16, I stopped because I came up with my Jasmine Press story, and then I got really into it, and then I started publishing, and yeah, I never went back to it. But when I was working on my Jasmine Press and the Enchantress book, I started looking at my old stories that I started before I started my Jasmine Press trilogy, and there's ideas I still want to create into books. I just want to change some things here and there with it, but the story idea itself I still want to keep. So I started putting what I had in my laptop, because those were all in journals, because that was before I had a laptop. But and so as I was putting everything from that book here, I realized that I ended up kind of changing a lot. Well, not okay. At the beginning, a lot of it stayed the same, but as I went a little bit into it, I ended up changing a lot. I even ended up not adding some. I think the last couple chapters I ended up just throwing out completely. There's this one scene that I still remember that I kind of wish I could have kept in there, but since I took a different turn with that story anyways, it didn't make sense to do that anymore. So that made me sad because I kind of liked that idea. But oh well. Hey, maybe I could find a way to add it into this book. Well, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, so I hope to finish my prequels, and so the point of the story was that it doesn't take me long to write once I get into a book, and I'm finally really getting into this prequel. So I have been working on it a lot lately, and I think I could definitely finish it by the 28th, and then I could so the plan is to finish writing it this month, and then edit it all next month, and then I could go back and forth from editing that book next month and writing The Witch of Light, because I did end up kind of taking a small break from it, because now I really want to get this prequel done, because I'm getting really into it, and it took me several months to even get inspired in this story. So now that I'm inspired in it, I'm afraid if I take a break from it, even a little break, besides sleeping and stuff, that the inspiration will go away, and I don't want that. I have many good ideas for it now, and I just want to incorporate all those good ideas, and I'm really excited for it. I did have someone tell me that she finished my Jasmine Present the Enchantress story, and that she was very happy with how it ended, and that made me happy. I was like, yay, because I'm very happy with how I did that book, how I wrote it, how my writing style has changed from my Jasmine Present series to the Christmas Light series, but other than that, the story, the characters, the final fight, the ending, I love how I did that, and I feel like it was a very amazing way to end Jasmine's arc. But yeah, so that is all for this update. I will update you again later when I have more to update you about, and how my prequel is going, and my Witch of Light book, if I start working on that again, which I do plan on to real soon. So that is all, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Hey, so I got some more writing done. I actually worked on, as I've mentioned, Alyssa and I are working on a book together, and I finally finished my chapter 1 of it, so yay. I wrote, how much did I write in it? It was over 2,000, I know that much. I'm actually surprisingly doing well at remembering to write down what I'm writing. 2,523 words. I knew it was 2,500 something. So, that's not of my entire chapter, that's just of what I wrote today. I started it sometime after midnight. I think it was closer to 1:30 when I started it in the morning, so it was today. So that's what I wrote today so far. I do plan on getting more writing done later today. I want to see if I can work a little bit on both The Witch of Light and my Jasmine Press prequel. I'm going to take a little break because I want to read. I want to finish this book. And I want to finish the sequel to it too. So I'll finish this book now, work on a chapter of one of those books. Then I will, maybe 2 chapters. We'll see how I feel. And then I'll read the other one. And then I'll do the other book. That's my plan. Whether I do it or not is another story. I was up all night, so I might get tired. But let's see if I can stay up all day too. Stay up 24 hours. Just reading and writing. That's the dream.
That's the question.
I never said I could do it. I said I'm going to try to do it. There's a difference. and if I can't, then I'll be like, oh well, who cares? I'm not one of those people that stress over not being able to reach a goal they make. I'm like,
well, at least you got some of it done. That's all that matters.
And I technically, so in my writing journal, I have a page for writing goals, right? And one of my goals is to write at least 2,000 words a day. And I already technically reached that today. I wrote 2,523 words in our book.
Oh, you worked on our book?
Yeah, I finished my chapter 1.
Yeah.
And I messaged in the writer's Discord. I also said that I copy and pasted your chapter 2 into our book, so it's all ready for when I start chapter 3. But yeah. So I technically already met my writer's goal. I'm probably going to have to up that goal because it's really easy for me to reach 2,000 words. So if I want to challenge myself, I'm going to have to up that goal. Heck, what? I was looking at all the my past things I've done so far this year, right? And on both of the books I was working on this year, because this was the first time I was working on The Witch's Assassin this year. It said the last time I worked on it was December 30th. Okay, so
it said that all these 6 I wrote in my prequel 21,340 words that day. I was like, I did not realize I ever wrote that much. I mean, I knew I've written like 4,000 words a day, but geez. So I might have to up that if I'm going to challenge myself. Because 2,000 words is just too easy. It also helps that, writing's my only life. Writing is my job. Writing is my passion. It's my everything. So yeah, I'm going to read more Bewitched and Oz. Then I'm going to work. I'm going to see if I can do a little bit of both books, at least one chapter of each book, because I haven't really worked. According to this, the last time I actually worked on The Witch of Light is the 5th. That's probably the longest I went without working on that book in a while, because for a while that was my main story that I was working on. I would go to other stories every so often, but then I got really inspired from my prequel, and now I have this whole thing, a goal about publishing it on February 28th, so I've been really working on it.
You're dying.
Yes, I am.
I have this tickle in my throat and it just won't go away. It's making me cough.
You can't catch a break.
I didn't get this tickle in my throat till you woke up, so I think you did something to me.
I'm offended.
Can you speak?
No, my waking brain is like, no.
Wait, you have a brain at all?
See how mean she is?
It's just sisterly love. Okay, so yeah, so that's my plan as of right now. That plan might change depending on my mood, depending if I end up wanting to go to bed because I'm tired. And I mean, I could try to take a couple hour nap to give me energy, but I tried that yesterday and I ended up sleeping until 6:30. That's why I wasn't tired and stayed up all night. I took a couple hour nap that turned into a several hour nap, and then I woke up late and now I don't want to go to bed. And then I didn't want to go to bed and I didn't because I wasn't tired. And here we are today. So I will talk to you guys again soon. And yeah, so I am going to do that, and we will talk, and I will update you again. I think I might be posting this vlog soon. I don't know. I still don't have a day for when I plan on posting this vlog. But we'll see. It'll just depend on my mood, honestly. See ya. Hello, it is 12:34 a.m. on the 15th, and I forgot to give this update for my reading vlog yesterday, but I finished Bewitched and Oz, and I loved it. I'm going to be starting Magic Below soon. Within a few hours, I'd say I'm going to start. I want to read it all today, and I think I can. This vlog will be going up within the next couple of days. But I loved this book and the ending. The ending kind of left off at a kind of a cliffhanger. And I can't wait to start Magic Below. I rated this 5 stars on Goodreads. It's just so good. I haven't put it in my reading journal yet, but I'm going to here in a few. But I absolutely loved it. I tabbed it quite a bit because there were so many great parts, and there's so many parts that had me squealing or screaming. Yeah. So, I loved it when, it's basically this book is basically about Ziri Ziri Green Apple, her and her two best friends have magic. And they sneak off to practice it, and then Ziri's crush, Ned's little brother, find out they have magic and announces he has magic too, so he started joining them. But then the flying monkeys came and kidnapped Tabitha, so the other three went on this venture they were being led by the glass cat, and they were going to find Glinda because they were hoping she would side with them and help them save Tabitha and get the magic ban off of Oz, because magic's illegal, which is why they were caught and got in trouble. There were some twists. I don't want to spoil anything too major, but it was definitely good. I love Ziri. The only thing that annoys me about Ziri is the fact that she does get jealous, but and she can seem a bit boy crazed at times, but she's also very passionate and determined, and she refuses to let her magic be taken away because it's a part of her. And I love the speeches she makes about the fact that the magic is a part of her, part of all of them, and taking it away would be like taking away part of them. And I love how she's not willing to give up on something she believes in, and it's so amazing and heartwarming, and I love it. And I love her relationship with Brink. Brink, I love. He is such a cinnamon roll character. I love him. He's such a sweetheart, and he's so kind and caring, and he's always there for everyone to lift their spirits when they are all feeling down because of what's going on. He manages to make everyone feel better somehow. I know, like, at one point Vashti thought her power was useless because she hadn't figured out how it could help them yet, and Brink was able to cheer her up. And then later on, Ziri was really worn out, and she thought she lost her magic, and Brink made her feel better. But he also doesn't take any crap. Like, I love this one part where so Ziri and Vashti both had a crush on Ned, and it almost ruined their friendship at the beginning of this book. And then Ziri started, but then Ziri realized she doesn't like Ned. She only liked him because he was cute. She didn't even really know anything about him besides the fact that he likes to make these clockwork machines, which he did a lot. But she has started to have real feelings for Brink, more than just because he's cute, but because he's kind and helpful, and and Vashti and Brink started getting close, so she thought that Vashti was liking Brink too, and she was like, we can't like the same boy again, that's gonna destroy our friendship for real. And but then Ziri and Vashti get into this big fight because they're fighting over their magic, because and then the fight was also kind of about liking the same boy, but Vashti thought they were both talking about Ned, and then Ziri thought they were both talking about Brink, because turns out Vashti still likes Ned. She didn't see Brink in that way. She only saw him as a friend. And then Brink totally just has had enough of the two of them fighting. And he was like, both of you just stop, okay? Just stop. If you guys... I don't remember his exact words. I'm pretty sure I tabbed the scene because, like I said, I liked the scene. It was funny. But he's like, if you guys want to, you don't ruin your friendship like this. If you guys want to stop fighting or something like that, then stop liking the same boy. And then he ran off. And then they both felt embarrassed after that. But then just after that is when Ziri found out that Vashti still liked Ned, and then Ziri and Brink had a conversation about that later, because Brink finally admits that he's always liked Ziri, which I kind of figured, because at the beginning of the book, just like Ziri, when she was going to meet Vashti and Tabitha, she kind of went the long way so she could pass by Ned's house and see him. and try to flirt with him, and then Brink would be like, hey, where are you going? And it was just obvious that he liked her from the beginning, but she was oblivious at the time. But he finally admitted that he has. Well, they were talking because Ziri and Brink were talking about how about the fights and stuff, and Ziri said how they were fighting over the magic a little bit, but they were also Vashti thought they were fighting over Ned, and Ziri told him she thought they were fighting over him, and Brink was like, oh, because he honestly believed that she still liked his brother, and that made him sad because he liked her. And he hated the fact that she liked his brother. But then he admits that he has always liked her. And it was such a sweet scene. I shipped them a lot. But yeah, this book's really good. It's fast to get through. There's only 19 chapters. And it's kind of a large text. So it's easy to get through. And it's really good. So only like 2-something pages. 255. 255 pages. It's really good, and I highly recommend it. And I'm going to be starting the sequel soon, and then I will give you another update when I finish the sequel. And I'll talk to you guys then. See ya. Hello, I'm back for another update. So it's the 17th now because it's 12:22 a.m. and I forgot to do an update early yesterday morning. It was kind of early-ish. Because I wrote an entire chapter. I wrote over 3,000 words. I don't remember exactly how much. I wrote in my writing journal though, because I've surprisingly been good at keeping track. Who knew? 3,342 words of chapter 3 of The Witch's Assassin, which is my book I'm working on with Alyssa. And she already did chapter 4, so I copy and pasted that onto a document, so it's all ready to go for when I start chapter 5. But it went really well. The story ended up taking a different direction than I originally meant, so the idea I had originally came up with, I'm going to do for chapter 5, because I ended up coming up with this really good idea, and I just kind of played with it, and I ended up writing an entire chapter based off that idea that came to me in the beginning of the book by accident, and I just rolled with it. But I feel like it turned out really well, and I'm really happy with how the chapter went. One thing about my character in the first book is that her power is growing a lot. Her fiance, Odette, is starting to get a little concerned because her power seems to be growing really fast, and usually a witch's power grows slowly, and until recently her power seemed to stay where it was, but all of a sudden she starts finding out all these new things she can do. She has 3 different powers. One of them she doesn't use that often because she still hasn't learned to control it, so she tries not to use it unless her emotions get the better of her, which is sound, like energy waves and stuff. But she also has the power of light and the power of water, but water is a tricky power because you can do a lot of different things with water. Like she can also control ice and snow. There might be one thing I want to add to that chapter that I had considered and then ended up forgetting about. But other than that, the chapter's done and it looks really good. But so Crystal, her power's growing in ways she didn't know it could, and I have ideas for scenes throughout this book where to show her power growing, and she's gonna do things she didn't know she could do with her power, which will be able to help her and Celine on their journey at times. But yeah, so it's going really well, and I really like the direction this chapter took, and I can't wait to do chapter 5. And yeah, I think it's turning out well. I don't know when I'm going to work on chapter 5, because I still want to, finish the prequel soon so it can be published on February 28th. And then I do want to do the next chapter of the Witch of Light soon, because I have an idea for it, and I want to, write it before I forget my ideas for the chapter. So yeah, but it's going really well, and I'm going to update you when I have another update. I do plan on getting a few thousand more words done today at some point, and I'll let you know when I do and how it goes. And I'll talk to you guys later. Hello, I'm back with another vlog. So I'm going to start chapter 5 of The Witch's Assassin, because I know the direction the chapter is going to go, and I want to write it out before I forget. And then after that, I'll probably do some reading, and then do what chapter am I on The Witch of Light? I have no idea. I think I'm on chapter 18? I don't know. No, that's my Jasmine Press prologue. I'm on chapter 18. I think I'm on chapter 20. I don't know. I have so many WAPs. I don't know where I'm at on all of them. But, yeah. And I was going to cook some chicken strips and then work on writing a little bit as I made my chicken strips. And I'm just going to clean up a little bit before I actually start on the book, the chapter. But basically, in this chapter, what's going to happen... What's going to happen is, in the last chapter, Odette made a comment to Crystal that she had a surprise for her. But then they ended up going underwater in their little, Crystal went underwater, but they hung out at their spot that no one else knows exists, and it got too late by the time that they were about to leave. So Crystal's going to have to sneak out in the middle of the night so that no one knows, because no one knows about her relationship with Odette except for both of their familiars, because Crystal is a coven witch, though she was technically born a rogue witch, but that's a long story. But she's a coven witch now, and rogue witches are legal in witch law. But Odette is a rogue witch, so their relationship has to be a secret to protect both of them from an assassin, killing them. So Odette's surprise for Crystal is going to be this cabin in the woods that she has worked hard to build. Her power isn't, everyone has different powers, and a lot of Odette's powers are more, I don't know how to explain it, they're not physical powers. Her powers are telepathy, empathy, and seeing auras, and so they're not really physical things. That's why she's had to invade a lot of assassins in her day at being a rogue witch. So she is a great fighter, even better than Crystal, and you learn pretty early on that Crystal's a great fighter as well. Even though she has physical powers, she has water, as I was explaining in my last update, she has water where she can do anything that has to do with water, which includes frozen water like ice or snow or anything like that. She also has power of light and sound. I always want to forget that one. I don't know why. But yeah, she still wanted to learn how to fight because she thought it was essential. Sometimes you never know what might happen to your powers, and you never know when a sword fight or a fist fight might come in handy. So many witches don't care about learning how to fight because they're we have our powers, but she's smarter, and she's you never know what might happen. It might be smart to know how to actually fight, if something came down to it. And Odette taught Crystal how to fight after they met, but I haven't mentioned that yet. And But yeah, so she ends up taking Crystal to. So she ended up having to make the cabin she built, and she worked really hard on it for a long time. And Crystal has no idea about any of it because Oda wanted it to be a surprise for when she finished, and she's finally gonna show it to Crystal. And Crystal goes on, I guess you can call them business trips sometimes, a lot, where she's off trying to find a way to change witch law to, while evading assassins, of course, trying to make it so rogue witches were not illegal, and try to safely get Crystal out of her coven life because she hates it there. So she's trying to get her out of the coven life without putting her in danger for being a rogue witch, and then they can live a safe life in this cabin, settle down, no longer have to look over each other's backs. Crystal loves the idea, but she doesn't know if it'll ever be able to become a reality. She's had to look over her back her entire life, because she was born a rogue witch, and then her entire family was killed in front of her, and then she was brought into the coven life, and then her adoptive parents were killed as well. So she's had a tough life, to say the least. But yeah, so I'm going to work on this chapter. That's kind of the direction this chapter is going to take. And I don't think it'll be that long of a chapter. But yeah, Crystal's just going to love the idea of it, but she doesn't think it's possible, and she won't voice her doubts to Odette, but it's in first point of view, so you're in her mind a lot, and she's just gonna be thinking, like, I would love this, I would love nothing more to settle down with Odette, but and even if it does become possible, she doesn't know how she can, settle down, because her entire life, until she got into the coven, she was on the run, and then even after she was in the coven, she's always looking over her back. She doesn't really trust anyone in her coven, and no one in the coven really likes her or trusts her, so she's always looking over her back, sleeping with one eye open, and she doesn't know how she can, and she's an immortal witch, so this has been going on her entire life. So she doesn't know how she could ever settle down and have this kind of life where she doesn't have to look over her shoulder, because that's all she's ever had. That's all she's ever done, and she doesn't know how she could not do it. But yeah, so I'm going to work on that chapter, and then I will work on, I'll probably, after I eat, I don't know, I might work on the Witch of Light first and then read, so I have a little time for my food to digest. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It depends on my mood as well. So I'll let you know how that goes, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hey, I'm back with my final update for this writing vlog. So I did update the last couple of days, but I'm very happy with how my writing is going. I've mostly been working on my prequel because I plan on publishing it real soon. I'm almost done. I'm at the very end of it, and it's very exciting. But my prequel was starting to make me cry because I just had some really sad chapters in there. I had to kill off one character, and now I'm about to kill off another. And the entire point of this prequel was their death. That's what the prequel's been leading up to since basically the beginning, because what happened for their death is what turns Lilac into the villain that you see in my Jasmine Perez trilogy. So it had to be done. They had to die. The entire book was leading up to their death. But I didn't realize that I was going to end up loving them and their relationship with each other so much. They have this healthy, they're married. They have this really healthy and loving and gentle and beautiful relationship that I loved writing. And they're both just such sweet characters on their own, and they're both really caring and giving, and as I was writing, I was like, they're total Hufflepuffs. Like, that went through my mind because Harry Potter's always on the brain. So they're like, these two characters are definitely Hufflepuffs, no doubt about it. But, yeah, so I'm really sad I had to kill one character, and now I'm about to kill the other. But Lilac's about to finally become the villain. I mean, she's already down the path, and she's already done some questionable things, but she's about to finally do the one act that just completely turns her into the villain that you see in my Jasmine Press trilogy. Exciting. But yeah, I have loved. So this book has been very interesting to see Lilac in this way. Especially at the very beginning, because at the very beginning she was really young. There's just a few jumps in time in this book, so you can see her when she was younger and how her life was then, and then as she got a little bit older, as her life started changing and how she started changing. But at the very beginning, I described her as sweet and innocent. There's this little one scene where I said, called her innocent, and I said she didn't have a dark thought in mind or something like that. And it was so interesting to write her in this way because I got so used to writing her as this heartless, maybe not that heartless because she did have a love interest that she did really truly love. But yeah, she was just this heartless, soulless person and that's who I got used to writing, and then boom. But yeah, but it's been fun and interesting to write her in this way, to write down exactly what happened to turn her into the villain that she has become, and to write her sister as well, because you meet her sister in the book. You don't meet her brother in the book, in the Jasmine Press trilogy, but you don't meet him until this book. But you meet her sister in the Jasmine Press trilogy, and it's interesting to write them both and to see how their lives brought them to the path that you see them in the trilogy. And it's just been really fun and interesting to write, and I'm loving it. But yeah, I'll definitely let you know when I publish it, and yeah, it's exciting. So that is all for this vlog, and I'll probably be starting my next vlog at the beginning of February. So and then that vlog will probably come out later in the month. So yeah. I will talk to you guys. So please like and subscribe and comment how your writing's been going, and I will talk to you guys later.